The bolt slides back, click, then forward, click, cycling another cartridge, manually. In the hedgerows of Normandy, June 1944, a German rifleman hunkers down behind stone. His carabiner 98K holds 5 rounds, bolt-operated, essentially unchanged since 1898, and feels archaic. Across that field, an American soldier lifts his rifle. No bolt, no interruption. Squeeze, fire, 8 rounds, self-loading, no hand cycling required between shots. The German infantryman later reported believing every American carried an automatic weapon. They hadn't. They wielded the M1 Garand, the rifle that transformed regular soldiers into mobile firepower units. From its projectile speed of 2,800 feet per second to its gas-powered rotating bolt mechanism, this armament delivered the most significant infantry edge of World War II. One designer, one rifle, one choice that revolutionized contemporary combat forever. Continue with this account because what unfolds ahead reveals how America joined World War II as the sole military with a self-loading standard rifle, and why imprisoned Japanese fighters inquired, "How did you arm everyone with automatic weapons?" 1918. The Great War concludes with bolt-operated rifles still ruling battlefields. But U.S. ordnance recognizes what's coming. Coming wars will require firepower, not only accuracy. Massive losses, trench warfare. The instruction is harsh and unmistakable. Whoever fires quicker prevails. So they initiate an intensive hunt for an auto-loading combat rifle. Throughout the following 10 years, numerous designers present prototypes. Every one fails, excessively heavy, excessively delicate, excessively complicated. Then appears John Garand, a Canadian-born designer laboring at Springfield Armory in Massachusetts from 1919, reserved, systematic, fixated on one challenge: how to capture the combustion gases from each cartridge to mechanically chamber the following round without destroying the rifle within 50 shots. By 1932, Garand secures a patent for a gas-powered mechanism. It measures 9.5 pounds, chambers the standard. 3006 Springfield round employs an 8-cartridge en-bloc clip. On January 9, 1936, the U.S. Army formally adopts it as the M1 rifle, establishing America as the first military to standardize a self-loading infantry firearm. Germany persists with the Car-9 8K bolt action, Japan with the Arisaka, Italy with the Carcano. America just rewrote combat doctrine and nobody else realized it yet. Springfield Armory, 1937, the scent of machine oil and heated metal permeates the space. Garand's original mechanism uses a gas trap configuration, an intricate muzzle device that catches escaping gases after the projectile leaves, channeling it to operate the action. Sophisticated in concept, disastrous in execution, the gas trap clogs rapidly. Carbon accumulation blocks the system. One prototype has a fastener loosened during discharge. Components slide from position, a projectile hits the gas plug, and the complete front assembly detonates off the barrel. Troops in preliminary testing report it fails on the 7th cartridge. Technicians at Springfield identify the issue. The gas trap configuration is overly complex, overly vulnerable to battlefield environments, mud, grit, temperature. Each variable creates a breakdown point, so Garand returns to development. He bores a port straight into the barrel, more straightforward, neater, more dependable. Gas now channels through this port to power the operating rod. The forward sight assembly is redesigned, the gas cylinder streamlined. By early 1940, current gas trap rifles are withdrawn, all 50,000 of them, and converted with the revised gas port configuration. The M1903 Springfield had experienced comparable developmental challenges, as would the M16 years later, but now the M1 Garand is finally operational. Large-scale manufacturing starts, 10 rifles daily initially, then 100, then, as conflict threatens Europe, 600 daily by January 1941. The firearm that will help secure a world war is materializing, one rifle at a time. December 8, 1941, 24 hours following Pearl Harbor, Japanese troops assault the Philippines. American and Filipino fighters on Bataan Peninsula are outnumbered and overpowered, except in one vital aspect. Certain units possess the new M1 Garand. Japanese soldiers, experienced from campaigns in China, have never encountered anything comparable. They advance in conventional formation, anticipating the familiar cadence of bolt-action shooting. Instead, they meet a torrent of ammunition. An American soldier empties his 8-round clip within seconds, no stopping to manipulate a bolt between discharges. 40 to 50 precise rounds every minute at 300 yards. The Japanese, equipped with Type 38 and Type 99 Arisaka bolt-action rifles, can achieve perhaps 15 rounds every minute if they're quick. Lieutenant Colonel Philip Fry of the Philippine Scouts documents, "The firepower of a battalion equipped with modern armaments is something," he searches for words, "the Garand rifle is beyond my descriptive powers." Imprisoned Japanese fighters later question interrogators how America succeeded in providing every soldier with an automatic weapon. These weren't automatic weapons, they were M1 rifles. On February 24, 1942, General Douglas MacArthur transmits to the War Department from surrounded Bataan. "The Garand is functioning with lethal accuracy, even in foxhole grime, continuous operation for a week without maintenance. But there's an issue nobody expected: insufficient en-bloc clips. Troops extract 30 caliber rounds from old Springfield 5-round clips and physically refill the 8-round Garands during combat. The rifle is demonstrating itself in the harshest conceivable conditions, but the conflict is just starting, and so is the M1's reputation." By mid-1942, intelligence assessments pour into German and Japanese headquarters. The Americans have standardized an auto-loading rifle. Every soldier, not specialized forces, not select divisions, everybody. Wehrmacht officers analyze after-battle reports from North Africa. Soviet commanders observe. Japanese naval planners react urgently. The tactical calculation is irrefutable. 8 self-loading rounds versus 5 bolt action means American units can produce double the firepower with identical personnel. At near range, the benefit becomes crushing. Manufacturing accelerates. Springfield Armory alone achieves 4,000 rifles daily by 1943. Winchester Repeating Arms enters manufacturing with a contract for 65,000 rifles. By World War II's conclusion, 5.4 million M1 Garands will emerge from production lines. Expense decreases from $200 per rifle in 1937 to merely $26 by 1945. Germany reacts by hastening development of the Gehör 43 semi-automatic. Insufficient, belated. It never reaches widespread deployment. Japan's Yokosuka Naval Arsenal reverse analyzes captured M1 South, producing the Type 4 rifle with a 10-round magazine. Only 250 are manufactured before the conflict ends. The strategic significance is obvious. America has industrialized firepower dominance. Every battlefield, every theater. The M1 becomes the foundational weapon that influences Allied infantry approaches. Assertive fire and movement, quick target acquisition, continuous offensive momentum. Doctrine transforms. Squad commanders now instruct riflemen to employ the M1 speed to neutralize enemy emplacements, while Browning automatic rifles deliver continuous fire. The Garand isn't merely a firearm. It's a force enhancer that redefines how contemporary armies engage. By 1944, the question isn't whether the M1 provides an edge. It's how many casualties the weapon has prevented by allowing American soldiers to fire first, fire quicker, and fire more. June 6, 1944, Omaha Beach, 0700 hours. Private First Class Rodriguez strikes the sand behind a steel hedgehog barrier. Seawater streams from his M1 Garand. M42 tracers whistle overhead, 1,200 rounds per minute tearing through the waves. He tastes metal and gunpowder. His hands tremble. His rifle got submerged in the approach. Doesn't matter. The gas-powered mechanism still operates. He draws the charging handle backward. Here's the bolt lock. Retrieves an en-bloc clip from his bandolier. 8 rounds of .30-06 Springfield and inserts it down into the receiver. Pink click. The bolt rushes forward. 30 yards forward, a German machine gun position. He aims through the aperture. Front blade centers on a gray helmet. Crack. First shot, crack. Second, no bolt to manipulate. Just squeeze the trigger again. Crack, crack. 3 additional. The German gunner recoils, drops. Rodriguez is already targeting the next objective, another helmet, moving left. His preparation takes control. Breathe, squeeze, shoot. The kickback is sharp but controllable, the rifle's mass absorbing most of the impact. Next to him, Corporal Miller exhausts his clip. The final round discharges, and the en bloc clip ejects with its characteristic metallic ping, audible even through the mayhem. He reloads in 4 seconds, back in action. They push 20 yards, then 10 additional. The M1 enables them to fire while advancing, sustaining fire while narrowing distance. German defenders with Car-9 8K bolt actions must halt, aim, fire, work the bolt, re-aim. That delay, that 1-second interval, is critical. Rodriguez gains the seawall, 7 rounds remaining. He can sense the mass difference in the rifle. And somewhere across the beach, he knows other soldiers carrying this identical weapon are making the same improbable advance, 1 trigger squeeze at a time. The M1 Garand's functioning mechanism is deceptively straightforward, which is precisely why it succeeds. Begin with the gas port. A small aperture drilled into the bottom of the 24-inch barrel, roughly 6 inches from the muzzle. When a cartridge detonates, expanding gases thrust the .30-06 projectile down the barrel at 2,800 feet per second. As the projectile passes the gas port, a fraction of that gas diverts into the gas cylinder. This gas propels the operating rod backward. The rod connects to the bolt via a cam surface, forcing the bolt to rotate and disengage its 2 locking lugs from the receiver. As the bolt moves backward, it extracts the used casing and expels it. A recoil spring, extending the length of the operating rod, captures the energy and propels everything forward again. The bolt strips a new cartridge from the en bloc clip, chambers it, and rotates to lock. Duration, a fraction of a second. The en bloc clip mechanism is debated even today. The 8-round clip loads from the top, supplying its own feed lips. The rifle has no internal magazine sides. When the final round fires, the clip ejects mechanically, upward with that recognized ping. Some accounts claim opposing soldiers listen for this noise to know when to charge. Battle veterans reject this as legend. In the thunder of combat, artillery, machine guns, yelling, nobody detects a small metallic ping from 50 yards away. The M weighs 9.5 pounds empty, 11.2 pounds with a full clip, bayonet, and sling. Functional range 500 yards, though it stays precise beyond 800 yards. Discharge rate in skilled hands 40 to 50 rounds per minute. Compare this to the German Car-9 8K bolt action. 5-round internal magazine, maybe 15 rounds per minute continuous fire. The design is solid, simple enough for mass manufacturing, dependable enough for jungle moisture, desert grit, and European mud, and potent enough to neutralize at ranges where most rifles struggle to be functional. Camp Blanding, Florida, 1943. A new recruit named Obie Hill learns to charge his M1 Garand. Insert the clip, push down with the thumb, then snap. The bolt rushes forward if you don't maintain pressure on the top round. In one thumb, the instructors label it. A bruised, inflamed digit that becomes the unofficial mark of every new soldier. But that discomfort is nothing compared to what the rifle signifies in battle. Hill will transport that same M1 through the D-Day jump into Normandy with the 82nd Airborne. He lands in water, 5 miles off course. The rifle gets drenched, still discharges. The following day, during a short pause, he dismantles and cleans it. Not because it malfunctioned, but because he can. The straightforwardness of the mechanism means a soldier can feel dismantle and service his weapon even under duress. Veterans describe an unusual reassurance in the M1's weight. Yes, it's heavy. But that mass means steadiness, precision. Understanding you can send 8 rounds downrange quicker than the opponent can work his bolt 5 times? That mental advantage changes everything. On the opposing side, dread multiplies. German after-battle assessments note American squads producing impossible quantities of small arms fire. Japanese officers realize their forces face not just numerical advantage, but firepower advantage at every confrontation. A Wehrmacht private writes home in late 1944, "We hear them before we see them." That constant crack, crack, crack of their rifles never ceasing. For American soldiers, the M1 becomes an extension of identity. They give their rifles identities, maintain them compulsively, rest with them close. One Marine on Guadalcanal later remembers, "In that jungle nightmare, my Garand was the only thing I trusted absolutely. It never failed me." But there's a dark aspect to this dependability. Soldiers witness atrocities. The M1 inflicts those atrocities with mechanical precision. Some veterans never discuss what they accomplished with that rifle. Others collapse decades afterward, the recollections triggered by the simple sight of one. The rifle is an instrument, but for the soldiers who wielded it, it becomes something deeper. A lifeline, a weight, and a witness to humanity's darkest chapters. Yokosuka Naval Arsenal, Japan, late 1943. Technicians gather around 3 seized M1 Garand rifles, instruments scattered across workbenches. The Imperial Navy has an order: duplicate this weapon, mass manufacture it for Marine paratroopers, quickly. First effort rechambering the American rifle for Japanese 7.7 mm ammunition. The cartridge specifications are similar to the .30-06 Springfield. The rifle fires, cycles properly, but the end-block clip mechanism, engineered specifically for American ammunition, won't feed the Japanese rounds consistently. The initiative stagnates. Second effort, reverse engineer the complete rifle. Abandon the clip. Construct a fixed 10-round magazine fed by 2 standard 5-round stripper clips. The group dismantles a Garand down to its tiniest parts, measuring specifications, examining the gas mechanism, charting the bolt's cam trajectory. By 1944, they manufacture the Type 4 rifle. It appears almost indistinguishable from the M1. Identical gas port mechanism, same rotating bolt, same operating rod, but with Japanese-style tangent sights and that altered magazine. Only 250 are constructed before Japan capitulates. Occupation troops discover about 20 completed rifles at Yokosuka, a frantic effort to equal American firepower that materialized far too late. Germany pursues a different route. They already have semi-automatic rifle initiatives, the Gehör 41, then the enhanced Gehör 43, but manufacturing never achieves mass level. The Wehrmacht continues to depend on the Kar-9 8K bolt action as its standard infantry rifle throughout the conflict. Some German troops capture M1 South from American fatalities and employ them against their original owners. The Soviet Union, meanwhile, had already engineered the SV-T40 semi-automatic rifle, though it never fully supplanted the Mosin-Nagant bolt action. Intelligence examinations after the conflict reveal a persistent pattern. Every major participant acknowledged the M1's benefit. But between industrial capability, resource limitations, and the turmoil of total war, none could duplicate America's achievement, arming millions of soldiers with a dependable semi-automatic rifle as standard equipment. The defense that succeeded best? Don't engage in a gunfight with an American soldier. March 26, 1958. The U.S. Army formally retires the M1 Garand, substituting it with the M14 rifle. But the account doesn't conclude there. The M1 continues serving in National Guard divisions through the 1960s. It experiences action in Vietnam's initial years. Honor guards still bear it today in military observances. The weapon's recognizable profile representing an epoch when American engineering and industrial capacity turned the direction of history. John Garand never gained financially from his creation. He transferred all privileges to the U.S. government, obtaining only his modest civil service compensation. Congress contemplated granting him $100,000 in acknowledgement. The legislation failed. He obtained medals instead. The Meritorious Civilian Service Award in 1941, the U.S. Government Medal for Merit in 1944. In 1973, a year before his passing at age 86, he was inducted into the U.S. Army Ordnance Corps' Hall of Fame. General George S. Patton's judgment remains. The rifle's most celebrated tribute, the greatest battle implement ever devised. Over 6 million M1 Garands were manufactured. They served in World War II, Korea, and numerous conflicts across the planet through Allied military assistance programs. The rifle's gas-powered rotating bolt mechanism influenced every subsequent American military rifle, the M14, M16, and forward. Civilian marksmanship organizations still distribute surplus M1 South to shooters and collectors, maintaining the legend alive at shooting ranges nationwide. The rifle's genuine legacy isn't just mechanical. It represents a strategic vision that individual soldier firepower matters more than mass formations. That semi-automatic fire delivers a tactical benefit worth the commitment in engineering and manufacturing that innovation. Infantry weapons can shift the result of a global conflict. From hedgerows in Normandy to jungles in the Pacific, from frozen mountains in Korea to ceremonial drill fields today, the M1 Garand remains proof that sometimes the right instrument at the right moment changes everything. Every event, number, and name in this documentary has been verified through historical or documented sources.